Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Said buckos, actually, which is worse, I think.
That's a different kind of energy to start the podcast with.
Listen, we're trying to start with some raw Yeehaw Energy, you know what I mean?
Oh my god!
What? You can't clown me for saying that when you love Casey Musgraves, alright? But you have to be one with the Yeehaw, alright?
That's true. It's wrong. It's incorrect and harsh.
What?
But it's fair.
No, it's true.
It's just, I don't like to be clocked this late in the evening. You know?
Oh my gosh.
I am out of work. I'm in my pajamas. I don't want to be clocked.
Listen, I get it, for sure. You're vulnerable, and I understand.
What do you think Casey Musgraves' alarm clock sounds like? Do you think it is just Yeehaws?
I hope it's just like a literal rooster that she owns.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it's just like a cosmic rooster. Like it's a rooster that whenever it opens its mouth, it's just
a rooster
like
who's
rainbows.
been to space, for sure.
That checks out for me.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Wow.
What do you think would happen if Casey, Carly, and Janelle got in the same room?
You can't, come on, don't play God like that. Don't fucking... God,
you think
that's
they
a lot
had
of
to
power.
have met though, right?
Oh, for sure. And weren't they all at... I mean, maybe Carly wasn't at the Grammys, but like two of the three were at the Grammys.
Carly was at the Grammys.
Yeah, so they were all... Right. Maybe there's something. Maybe.
Carly was at the Grammys. She just didn't want us to know she was at the Grammys.
Right. She was all hush-hush because she was working on her new album.
Right.
But, you know, they've all crossed paths before.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that there's definitely been a movie night when they have all existed together, right?
Ooh, what do you think they watched?
I mean, it feels like it's obvious, right?
Go ahead.
It's obviously A League of Their Own.
Oh, that's a good one. I was gonna say Crossroads.
Holy shit.
Because I feel like, you know, that raw pop energy, that raw Britney Spears energy.
That one's very good. The other one that came to mind was the Disney Channel original movie with Hilary Duff.
Her legally known as Lizzie McGuire.
Her legal name.
Yeah.
Lizzie McGuire. Not the military one.
Oh, Cadet Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. If y'all listeners like Cadet Kelly, the Gay Watch podcast did an episode about it, and it's
my god,
chef's kiss. It's very good.
So good.
Yeah.
Such a formative movie.
Truly.
For our youth.
Oh my god. Christy Carlson Romano.
Oh my god.
Can peg me any day.
Honestly, she did fame right. Like, was in it when Disney Channel was, like, big, and then just deuced out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Welcome to Into the Pegging, I guess.
Welcome everyone. This is our podcast. That's really been our podcast this whole time.
Honestly?
If you really think about it.
If you paid attention for like 2 seconds.
Right. We've brought up pegging in easily every franchise we've talked about.
If you've paid attention literally at all, it's been edited in at least twice into every episode.
Yeah.
Cody's done a lot of work on the back end.
Yeah, that's my personal requirement that I have to make sure happens.
Yep.
So,
yeah, if you play this episode, in every episode actually backwards, you will notice that it's said at least twice.
Yeah.
So
if you play every episode backwards, it's actually just Peg by Steely Dan. Fully.
Shut up! Holy shit. Oh my god. Cody, how the hell are you doing?
I'm okay. That was like so many degrees of separation in one bit, and I kind of felt lopsided.
That's fair.
But I have emerged chrysalis-like after the Chicago election. We
Thank
did
God.
it. It's over, and I can sleep.
Thank God.
So,
Seeing
Lahain,
the
everyone.
word alderman on
Yes.
my Twitter feed so many times.
Welcome to the space.
And I've seen poll, I've seen alderman,
Yeah.
I've seen numbers of things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did my own research about the Chicago election last night.
Yeah, baby.
So I feel slightly invested in something that you are wholeheartedly invested in.
Wow.
So-
That's really our love language if you think about it.
That's true. So just know that your passion and hard work has, crossed lakes and political boundaries to reach me over in my little blanket burrito.
Cute.
So you've done work.
And we can all go home.
Great. Just please, Cody, will you go home
I
for once? Will you just go home?
I am recording from the news. My home, the news.
The void that is the news.
Yeah, that's my space.
That's fair. But
Not
I
to be
wish you would
confused
go
with
home.
MySpace.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Ugh.
How are you doing, my dude?
Good.
What the fuck is
I'm
up,
feeling-
Kyle?
Do you want to fucking fight? I'm feeling a little on edge. I was previously gassed up on our personal, like our joint Twitter,
Yeah.
which has left me flushed and embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. Come on.
I was a little embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed.
This past week, when this is going up, I donated my hair.
Pew, 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 pew.
So that was very cool. Shout out to Children with Hair Loss. You are
Hell
getting
yeah.
a couple of ponytails
Hell
from
yeah.
me.
So many
Uh,
ponytails.
Quite a few.
I
Yeah.
did not. I guess I didn't know how long your hair was. Because to be fair, let's be honest, you only take selfies from the titty up. So, like, I really.
True.
I really
True.
don't know. It could be fucking no man's land down there, or it could be Rapunzel, and I would have no idea. I'm just like, yeah, it probably ends like here-ish. I have no idea. I saw that before photo, and I was like, what? That's just been on your head this whole time? What?
Well, and it's like almost always curly because I don't
Right.
heat style my hair.
Yeah.
And so when it's like wet and or straight, it
Yeah.
reaches my butt.
Right. Oh my
Um,
god.
And
That's exhausting.
it is. It takes a long time to like wash and also dry.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so this is the second round of like growing out to my butt and then donating, which is very refreshing to do right before the summer,
Oh yeah, for sure.
just because it's like, who is she? It's all gone.
Yeah.
So I love that. It's very nice. I woke up this morning and was like, oh God, where is it?
Help!
I felt like a Sour Patch commercial. I was like, oh God, where is it?
Oh my god.
Which is nice. And so I loved that. It's nice to have my students, because I did it technically on April Fool's Day, the evening though, not the day before. So when I came in the next day, I think my kids' reactions were the best because, like, I'd say probably about 60% of my kids, like, didn't say anything. And then about 30% of them came up, like, right to my face, stared at me, like, knowing something was, like, different. And, but didn't say anything. They just, like, looked at me, they, like, squinted, looked me up and down, and then, like, went back and, like, sat down.
Mm.
And then, like, the other, like, 10% were like, cool haircut. And I was like, all right, thanks. But it was just my favorite to, like, watch their reactions when they don't usually notice things. Younger students definitely notice of like, oh, you got glasses or you're wearing something different. But it was very good. So those are my only updates. Oh, I guess when you're all listening to this, I'll be in New York.
Ow!
So that's cool. I'll be right in the middle of, I'm going to go kick Joe Goldberg's ass, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking beat him with a rock in the middle of broad daylight in Central Park.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go fight him in Central Park and kick his ass. So those are my current updates. So good things.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We do have a couple pieces of current events.
Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah. First, very quick piece of current events is Jamie Dornan Dad Watch. Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Hollywood game show.
Yes.
Is Jamie Dornan a dad, and to how many kids?
Yes. Jamie Dornan is in fact a dad. Usually.
Yes.
He is a new dad.
Ooh.
And that now makes him a dad of 3. So, good job, Jamie Dornan.
You did it.
You are having the sex.
Wow.
Congrats. That's. I don't know what else to tell you, Jamie.
Otherwise, he would not be. He only has sex for babies.
Yes, he very much fits the dad TM role to me.
Yeah.
So I get it. Our second piece of current events this week is a little bit buck wild, I would say. It's from a new website to the show, I'm pretty sure. It's called Conbini.
Ooh.
And it has arguably one of the most confusing website designs that we've navigated so far.
I'm frustrated. Like, it looks good, sure. Is it user-friendly in the slightest? The answer is no.
No, absolutely not. So, what we are looking at is that technically 2 months ago in February, there were some Polish priests, Catholic Polish priests, that were burning books that were apparently books that did not spark joy, technically. Books that did not please God. And it's showing this photo that for some reason includes books and like some like picture frames, also with like I guess it's quoted as like an African style face mask too, for some reason that isn't explained. But some of the books that are included here are Harry Potter and the Twilight books.
Woo!
So, sure.
Hey, y'all, remember Satanic Panic from the 90s? It's back.
So this brought back like a recovered memory for me when I saw this. That when like the Harry Potter books like first came out, my aunt and uncle didn't want me to read Twilight, didn't want me to read Harry Potter, and or like see the movies because they thought it was like witchcraft. TM.
Right. Yeah.
But that was in like what, 2000?
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, lol. But still.
Right.
This is in, like, the year of our Lord 2019.
Yeah, come on, y'all.
Where, like, J.K. Rowling is talking about, like, shitting on the floor and stuff. Which arguably is, like, more...
Yeah, that is more sacrilege than anything she's written in the books.
Right. So I just found this a little buck wild to me, I guess. I mean, given our current climate, I guess, if they were like, she's talking about buck-ass, wild-ass shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I don't know. This just seemed a little bit wild, given the time period. But, who's to say? So, I guess it is from an evangelical group, but, I don't know. I guess it went viral at some point. So, interesting.
Wow.
We have our next piece of news, which came out, like, super recently.
Hot off the presses, y'all.
Very hot off the presses. Would you like to talk about it with us?
So the Hugo Awards, right? We know
They're a
them.
thing.
We love them. A prestigious, acclaimed award,
Yes.
genre of award. And the nominees came out the other day. One of which is friend of the podcast, Archive of Our Own. AO3.
Good old AO3.
AO3, baby. Put your fucking paws up. AO3 Warriors.
Oh my god. I've gotta go.
If you're unfamiliar and also maybe haven't listened to this podcast before, Archive of Our Own is a fan fiction website, that had its peak in the early internet, early to, whatever, the last decade or so.
Yes. It's
nominated for a Hugo in the Best Related Works category.
Sure.
Like so many other, I don't know, just acclaimed media that has been nominated in the past.
Right. Now,
oh my gosh.
In AO3's defense, there's so much on that website. I was reading a little bit about this yesterday, that the way that it is categorized and not to say its name over again, but is archived on there.
Right.
It is in fact a major feat. I just find it absolutely hilarious that a fan fiction website is being nominated for a Hugo.
Yeah.
Given that so much of it is just fucking trash. Now, I am a proponent of the idea of fan fiction.
Yeah.
I read it every week and am always amazed by how the lengths to which some people go to share their creativity. But as someone who is an English teacher, I love the idea of it. So
right.
I think this is awesome, especially to kind of take this personal piece of work and put it into a literary space is awesome.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm not going to fucking laugh about the fact that AO3 is nominated for a Hugo.
Yeah, that's what a world.
Yeah, it does definitely make it seem like this simulation that we're in is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm looking at this Motherboard piece right now, and it says over almost 47 million individual works are on there.
Whew.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, that's so much.
Wow. But it's definitely pretty cool. I think it's definitely a nice start in shifting this conversation about what is considered literary at this time, which I like for sure.
Yeah, that's a cool conversation for sure. But also
AO3. it's just
come on.
It's just a trash website, which is great. Okay, we have a couple of questions. The first of which is from our patron, Allie, who asks a Twilight question. What do you think Bella, Edward, and Jacob would each give up for Lent?
Oh boy.
I am very intrigued by this question.
Yeah.
Given that I have never participated in Lent before.
Neither have I.
But I do have quite a few friends that have over the years.
Yeah.
And still to this day. I feel like in present day 2019.
Yeah.
I feel like Bella would give up. Oh God. Well, I'm trying to imagine for the Lord, TM.
For the Lord.
Because I feel like that means that Edward would have to believe in the Lord, which kind of goes against his whole thing.
They can just be for personal growth. Doing stuff for them, It's I'm not gonna, eat shitty food, or, I'm not, whatever.
Okay.
Drink alcohol for 40 days, or whatever.
Okay. Then maybe Bella gives up classic literature.
No,
and
boy.
reads new shit.
How about you read a new fucking book?
How about you read something new, Bella?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. Because, like, they're vampires. So, like,
yeah.
what do you...
Time is meaningless. You know what I mean?
Right. Can Edward give up playing sad songs on the piano?
That would be great. I would also contest Edward should give up breaking the goddamn bed every time he has sex.
Oh my god! Yes. I love that.
Fucking reel it in, my dude.
Yeah. Stop breaking furniture that is like, you buy handcrafted furniture.
Right, this is nice stuff.
Yeah, someone made that.
Yeah. Care for your possessions, maybe.
And Jacob can stop. Just stop.
Just fucking chill out.
Yeah. Stop making sexist comments for Lent.
Yeah.
Maybe. How about that, Jacob?
How about them apples? Jacob?
How about that, Jacob? Stop calling Rosalie Barbie for 2 seconds, Jacob.
Jacob.
Oh god, that's so good. That's a good question. I haven't thought about that before.
Yeah,
I love it when y'all come out here with questions I haven't thought about.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, so we got an email. There's 2 main, like, body paragraphs of this that I would love if you could read.
This is from Kelly. It says, first of all, I just want to thank you for this podcast. Back in September 2018, when all the Twilight movies came out on Amazon Prime, I rewatched them all multiple times. Yeah, Allie.
I can relate.
Allie, you have to stop sending us emails.
Shut up.
It makes us seem not as cool. And one afternoon, getting ready for my commute home, I thought, surely someone has created a Twilight podcast by now. And then I found y'all on Google Play and started with episode 1. I finally got caught up a few weeks ago and would love to share with you my only somewhat anachronistic thoughts on Twilight. First of all, I would like to briefly defend Stephanie Meyer, even though
Kelly,
the books...
No.
Yeah. Lindsay Ellis. Even though the books are terribly written, she's the first author for whom I was willing to read 4 books, and I did not like simply because I had to know what happened. I mean, if there is some literary tradition of resolving a love triangle with the child of a protagonist and the winning suitor, I certainly hadn't heard it before this series. Even though it's awful, I definitely did not see that coming. Secondly, I didn't really pay attention to the Twilight series when it was initially popular. I'm a little older than y'all and remembered it being popular, but didn't really follow it until about 2010 or so, after graduating college and starting my first job. I spent a lot of free time in bookstores back then, and I distinctly remember all the hoopla about releasing Breaking Dawn in the fall of my senior year. I didn't have much free time for reading, but after graduation, when I had a lot more free time, I decided to get caught up in pop culture and read all the books. I do remember going to see the movies, and most specifically, seeing Eclipse in the theater. Ultimately, though, I'm a little embarrassed to admit that it was Twilight that made me realize that my boyfriend of about 3 years at that point was emotionally manipulative, borderline emotionally abusive. I wish I'd been able to realize this without the assistance of a fictional teenage vampire, but I figured if there's anywhere I can sing the praises of Twilight's influence in my life, it would be with y'all.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what my boyfriend said or did, but I remember my reaction being, holy shit, why are you acting like Edward Cullen right now? After that, I was much more aware of how shitty his behavior towards me was. We eventually broke up, and I've since married someone else, but Twilight has always had a special place in my heart because of that experience.
Okay. Alright.
Wow.
Hold on. There's so much here.
Let's unpack everything.
Okay.
Wow.
Kelly, first of all.
Kelly.
Alright, first of all, just coming in hot with some anachronistic Twilight thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, listen. We've all been there.
Yeah. First of all, hoopla. It's just a lot.
Hoopla.
I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, thank you for sharing about your emotionally manipulative partner.
Yeah, holy shit.
Because, same. Like, I was like, oh my god. I remember when I had a boyfriend in high school, and I was like, oh my god, he's so much like Edward Cullen, and now I'm like, oh god, yikes. But I'm very interested in the fact that this, like, briefly defending Stephenie Meyer, because I feel like there's probably a lot of opinions that people have like this, of like wanting to keep reading just to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of people probably didn't see a story like that before. So thank you for sharing this, first of all.
Yeah.
And just the idea that you had to search for the show because you were like, there's got to be something out here by now.
Right.
So appreciate it. That's awesome. That's, yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I love a good long email. That's very nice. All right. So this fucking episode.
Ooh, mommy.
We are on season 1, episode 8.
Yes.
Titled, of course, You Got Me, Babe.
Ugh.
Did you grow up listening to Sonny and Cher?
Yeah.
At all?
Kinda. Yeah.
Okay. I did not, but I do have the tiniest of anecdotes about this song.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things my grandma used to do is she used to get these like holiday bears from Hallmark, and one of them that she got one year was these 2 bears from Hallmark that were like attached by the hands that had a heart in between them. And whenever you press the heart in between them, they sang I Got You, Babe by Sonny and Cher.
Aww.
And I don't know why, but like I loved playing it because I was like, oh yeah, my grandma. But I fucking hate that song.
Oh my god.
And so it was this weird thing of
sorry,
like...
Sonny and Cher heads.
Yeah, sorry.
Allie's coming for your fucking necks.
And, well, it's just like... Listen, Cher's great, but like, it's just such a repetitive song.
I guess.
It's just... It's not Cher's best, is all I have to say.
I guess.
So, I don't know why. It just, when I saw the title of this, it's like, oh yeah, that reminds me of my grandma. And I was like, hey, fuck those bears, for real though.
Right.
Okay, what are some of your initial thoughts about this episode?
Okay, so this episode is basically, like, how quickly can we get Joe and Beck back together?
Yes, exactly.
To no consequence of anyone. And so we're seeing, it begins with Joe and Karen hanging out. It's been 3 months since the breakup. And now Joe and Karen are like a thing. They're hanging out. Everything is great. Joe thinks he's perfect. He literally says her one and only flaw is that she likes King of Queens. Which I thought was the funniest thing. And I mean, listen, I get it. That's a deal breaker. I can't...
Oh my god.
It was so funny. He's like, man, there's nothing wrong with this girl. She's fucking great. She does watch King of Queens, though. So...
Oh my god. Did you know that you can buy the complete set of King of Queens right now for $50?
Oh, wow. How many seasons of King of Queens were there?
Oh, I don't know. Let's
900?
There's 9 seasons
God.
and 207 episodes.
Too many.
Because it went from 1998 to 2007.
Wow.
You know, a normal amount of time for a shitty TV show.
Listen, you remember the late 90s, early 2000s. That's just how it was sometimes.
I do remember, actually. This show, I remember being like reruns of, essentially. I'm just gonna pop an image in real quick, just so you can see what I'm seeing.
Stop
just
adding
some
visuals to the content.
It's just for you. It's just
Thank
for you.
I appreciate it. That's very good.
Just some pre-Paul Blart Mall Cop visuals here. Was he a UPS driver? What the fuck?
Yeah, he was like a delivery driver. He was. That was the whole bit.
I I don't know that I've ever seen an episode of King of
God, I've
Queens.
seen so much of King of Queens in my life. You kidding me? That real New York shit is watching reruns of King of Queens.
Oof. I feel like by osmosis I've seen it, but I don't know that I ever saw a lot of it.
Yeah.
Just so you all know, today, my time, there are about 16 episodes playing on TV Land starting at 11 o'clock.
Jesus.
That's your, that is your King of Queens watch.
Thank
2K19.
you. Thank you.
All right, so Karen loves
is good.
King of Queens.
Karen is good. That's her one flaw, and we'll forgive her for it, because she's perfect on all other accounts.
Listen, we all like shitty TV shows, all right?
Yeah, come on. And Joe's an elitist fuck always anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, so fuck him.
His opinion doesn't matter.
Exactly. He's a narc. Whatever. And also, he's bad at murder. So, like, what does he get to say about anything?
Yeah, so come on.
Yeah. What I find buck wild about all this, he's like, yep, I'm perfect. I'm totally happy. Hey, did you know I'm the happiest I've ever been? Just like real quick, I'm just going to use your phone and double check on how Beck's doing. No big deal.
Don't worry about it.
Super fine.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And Beck, great writer, just writing super, super normal stuff. Hey, super normal stuff? Like what to wear to your best friend's funeral. Super great. I would definitely read that. So what I love about this is, so Beck and Joe, both of them, convinced, they're happy, they're great.
Everything's super chill.
Everything's super chill. Beck and Blythe, they're hanging out. And one of the things that I enjoy about this too is that when Beck and Blythe are hanging out, I don't know, I guess I just really like some of Blythe's one-liners in this episode. Like when they go to get drinks and Blythe like apologizes for being late, and she's like, there was this essay in the Believer that would not let go of me, and it's like, all right, whatever. She also like encourages Beck to like, what was it? She encourages her to like build this quote writer's colony and like get all of her earthly distractions away or whatever. And so Beck tries it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
She writes for a couple minutes. She does some yoga stretches, and then she's like, hey, this isn't gonna work. Who am I kidding? And so immediately plugs her router back in and starts to research about Karen.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was bad. And then she does that thing where she walks over into Joe's neighborhood. And that's...
Baby.
This episode is awful.
Yeah.
And
like, she reasonably cut things off with Joe because he was being creepy, and she caught him stalking her.
Yep.
And now, a few months after the fact, she's a little lonely and maybe, like, is, you know, boosting up this idea that she had of their relationship and overhyping it because she's lonely. She does the same shit, obviously in a less, you know, a lesser state, but still, just, like, doing, like, oh, I'm just gonna stumble through and maybe we'll just, like, happen to see each other and be totally casual and natural. No. Don't do that. Go home.
And she didn't even have any, like, a story prepared. She was like, oh, yeah, I'm just, like, walking around the block in a neighborhood that isn't mine. Beck, come on. Seriously.
She really could have been like, oh, man, this is my favorite food truck. Like, there was a line of 30 food trucks. She could have just been like, this is a poppin' spot. But then she was just like, no, I like this street, you know? It's a good street. Right. Super cool and good.
All this stuff, super good.
Yeah.
And she just, like, keeps on with the lie of, like, oh, yeah, I'm, like, totally listening to this podcast that you recommended. And then Karen chimes in and is like, hey, fuck podcasts for a real one. Which, like,
she's like, man, they really need to get to the point. Which, like, drag us, Karen.
I know. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
So, one of the things that I found interesting is, like, we get more John Stamos. And it just feels like someone in this production team knew that John Stamos owed them a favor.
Yeah.
because what is he doing here? I don't understand. Especially because I forgot at some point that Joe was using that, like, Ronaldo story. I forgot that, like, he wasn't using their real names. So I was like, who the fuck is Ronaldo?
Right, like, what? Oh, also, like, Joe was still going to therapy, like, throughout the whole beginning montage, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, he was just, everything was going good, he was with Karen, things were great, and he was, like, right after totally shitting on therapy and it being like, wow, what a secretive way to, like, live your life. That sucks. And he's, like, still just hanging out, smoking doobies with John Stamos.
Yeah, I love that you're using the insurance question mark that you have to just smoke a doob.
Yeah, right, just smoke a doob.
Yeah, I don't... It's buck wild.
Yeah.
That's what he does. So, during this time, it seems like Joe and Beck can't really avoid each other at this point because Ethan and Blythe are moving in together.
Yes. Thank God.
They're so cute. And so Beck and Joe are moving the boxes for them, of course.
Because they're their only friends.
They're their only friends who they somehow convinced to help them out. And what I find buck wild about this is, of course, later on that day, Beck and Joe, like, meet up on this boat so that Joe can read some of her pages because she needs edits, and also
and they've
needs
been
to, like,
texting.
Yes, that's something I did forget to mention, is that they have been texting. I think there was also a point earlier on in the episode where she sends over, like, author photos, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah. It's like, do you want to see my potential author photos? Which is the only way I'm sure Beck knows how to sext.
Yes. They do have sex on this boat.
Also, I'm really confused about this boat situation.
Yes.
They're alone on this giant boat. There's,
Right.
like, they're at the top part where there's, like, a bunch of chairs and shit. I don't know if anyone's, like, at the bottom. I don't know. But they're just, for all intents and purposes, alone on the open sea in this boat. And they're just fucking on the boat.
No one is driving this boat.
There's
They are
not a
alone
captain
on this boat.
Yeah.
Someone just pushed this boat really hard, and now it is just floating on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they, at some point, Beck, like, climbs off his lap after having sex and is like, hey, that was a really bad idea. And then they just have sex again.
Yeah.
Super
It's
cool.
like, what if we kept doing it, though?
Yep.
And meanwhile, this whole time, this buck wild neighbor situation is happening.
Tell me more.
So Paco's mom's having a little bit of problems. She's
Yes.
an addict.
Yes.
And she got herself in a really bad place.
Yep.
And it was such a weird shift in tone for this episode.
For
like,
sure.
I feel like outside of that, it was very just, like, kind of fun and lighthearted, and it was just like, oh, you know that Beck and Joe are gonna, like, get together at the end, so everything's great. Meanwhile, it's contrasting about this very serious and intense, like, drug subplot of, like, where she almost dies, basically.
Yep.
And Joe takes her and Karen to the fucking book basement where previously he murdered a guy in.
Super chill.
But don't worry about it. It's fine.
Super normal.
Where basically Karen, like, takes care of her for, like, several days. They
Yep.
make sure she's able to, like, live, because they can't take her to the hospital because they'd probably take Paco away from her. And I'm like, this is so heavy for this television show and also for this episode. What is happening? And meanwhile, it just cuts immediately to, like, fucking Joe and Beck having fun sex. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. It's a severe tonal shift that
Yeah.
I struggled to be able to catch up with, that's for sure. Especially because the next scene they go right into the housewarming party.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, all right. So there's quite a few people here because Blythe and Ethan do have more friends. They just convinced Joe and Beck to move all their stuff because they're suckers.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful little place. This is where we get the iconic Blythe line, where she's telling Joe, quote, "Personally, I'm of the opinion that all penetration under patriarchy is rape."
Yeah.
Which, goddamn. Goddamn.
We don't deserve Blythe.
And this is the part where things start to get quite dramatic, I would say. Because, like, Joe goes to help, I think, Ethan out, and Karen starts to get, like, in Beck's head. And, like, Beck starts to develop kind of like a conscience, I would say. And goes to kind of stop things with Joe. We also find out, I think, is this the first time that we find out Karen's last name? That her last name is Minty?
Oh, yeah. That was so off-putting.
Her name is Karen Minty. And I was like, I'm sorry,
baby.
What? Yeah, it was so buck wild.
Yeah.
So there's some drama at the housewarming party, of course. And Joe's like, yeah, totally. Yeah, we shouldn't do this anymore. I love Karen. Karen's great.
Remember how good I said Karen was?
Right. So, of course, he goes back to his place. And he sees Karen, like, watching the King of Queens, giving herself a pedicure, just enjoying herself, as you do. And for some reason, that clicks for him of, like, this isn't good. Something about this, like, doesn't do it for him. And it's like, she's just trying to, like, live her truth right now. Like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. And so all of a sudden, he's like, it's over. And Karen, this beautiful woman, the most iconic, looks at him and is like, don't talk to me for a minute, please.
Yeah.
And I love this part because she just, like, is like, don't. Collects all of her stuff.
Very calmly. Just
super calmly. Yep. And then just fucking dips.
An American hero. And Joe is so confused by this because he loves drama. And he's also used to Beck being full of drama and how they're both emotionally immature and children. Right. And don't know how to process real relationships. Whereas Miss Minty, Miss Karen Minty, is like, oh, you know, this is the end of the relationship. I knew there was probably something off, especially since I keep saying Beck every goddamn minute of my life. Right. I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna collect my shit and I'm gonna leave. It's been nice knowing you. Goodbye. And he's so just like, good. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to? And she's like, no, I'm just gonna go. I think we're done. So I'm just gonna go.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And then things get ridiculous. So
yeah, baby.
Joe, like, theoretically, I guess, like, runs across town to Beck's place. Ooh. And does what is supposed to be, I guess, romantic. Which I fucking cackled at this part because he's supposed to, like, take a pebble and, like, toss it at her window.
Yeah.
But as I expected from this whole time, Beck's windows are nothing. No. So he just, like,
snaps sheets of paper.
Exactly. So he just, like, snaps her window in half by throwing a pebble at it, which, like, what?
Yeah.
And so she comes out of her window and was like, what? And so, of course, like, they reunite, and it's great and perfect. So the conclusion of this is now it's, like, Karen's turn to be, like, just strolling through the neighborhood. And so she pulls the Candace card.
Right.
So she sees Beck and is all like, so thanks, great. Glad I don't have to be with Joe anymore. He's trash. Thanks for showing me, like, that he's awful or whatever. But, like, be careful or whatever, because, I don't think you're... No, Candace. And she's like, What?
Sorry?
What? Who's Candace? What?
Hey. It's like, you'll figure it out. Later, bye!
Yeah, and then she just disappears. She just vanishes into thin air.
Yeah.
So, nice. Karen.
Nice.
Nice. This fucking show.
Jesus. Like, Joe and Beck deserve each other because they're both fucking human garbage.
Right.
But, like, and, like, this episode really showed that, too. And it also showed, like, this whole subplot, with Paco's mom just fucking literally almost dying, while he's just fucking Beck this whole time and not caring. And he's, like, supposed to be, like, watching out for Paco because his mom is not there. And he's just, like, fucking it up at every turn because he's fucking Beck. And it's like, you are, like, given these responsibilities and people are trusting you for things and Paco loves you and all this shit. And you're making Paco sad, which is making me upset.
Yeah, you don't get to make Paco sad.
Yeah.
That's
and there's this
not
whole
okay.
fucking, like, shit at the end with Ron, because he comes back as soon as Paco's mom is, like, figured out and she's back home and everything's great. And basically their life becomes exactly the same as it was. Like, the dad comes back, abusive dad shit, piece of shit Ron comes back, and Paco's upset and everyone's upset, and it's all Joe's fault, because he's a fucking scumbag.
Right. God damn it, Joe. Can you just can't leave well enough alone.
Yeah, fucking Jesus.
God damn it. I honestly don't understand. Like, I have a feeling at this point where this is going to end, but none of this is good.
Yeah, no.
And I just don't... God damn it. Is all I'm going to say.
God damn it.
I'm just so... I could fight. I'm going to kick someone's ass. I'm going to kick my ass. I'm so upset.
I'll kick my own ass.
I'm going to kick my own ass just to prove a point. Instead of doing that, though, I would like to share some love with our patrons. So, you know what? It's been a while. Why don't we head on over to the Onion?
Ooh.
It's been a hot minute.
Okay. All right.
Let's do a little bit of that.
Let's do a little bit of that.
So, I would love to thank our first $10 patron, Aaron Salinger.
Ooh.
And Aaron, I am going to provide you with the first article of Chicken's eyes catch first ever glint of sunlight through crack in warehouse ceiling just before head sliced off.
Nice.
You know, super good. Super great.
Yeah, very good. Shout out to Alex Blythe, who's gonna be proud business owner, tapes first customer to wall.
Oh my god. Shout out to Mary Mooney. And Mary, you're going to be Coachella unveils premium VIP areas where fans will be able to hear bands.
Whoa. Shout out to Braver Than the Marines, Taylor Browntown Lautner.
Holy
fucking
shit.
Salute. Fucking salute. Alright. Who's gonna be, let me close this pop-up ad, scientists announced discovery of dry ice on Mars means planet may one day be suitable for Halloween party.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out to Katie Weber.
Oh!
Katie is going to be, come on, says Matt Damon, desperately searching for own name on list of IMDb user Dolphin Soul 60's top 100 actors.
Oh my god. That's beautiful.
It's very good.
That's very good. Shout out to fucking Simon Steele.
Who, okay.
We
I don't know that
figured out is jacked. So
yeah, I don't know that we talked about this last time because I think we just texted about it.
This is
Simon,
new information.
Simon, what the fuck have you been? How have you been holding out on us? That one, you're like a real person, and also you're like swole.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Simon?
Simon Steele's ripped.
Simon could like break Edward Cullen in half. What the fuck, Simon?
And it's only fitting that he's gonna be this article. I guess I'm only tough on stains because my dad was so tough on me.
Oh my
By
god!
a bottle of Ajax.
Honestly, I can relate.
Yeah.
Simon fucking Steele.
Wow. Pour one out. He's not dead, but we just want to remember him.
Honestly, that's some real shit right there. Yeah. So this week's, I almost said this week's podcast. What the fuck? For real though, this week's fan fiction is brought to you by Braver Than the Marines, Taylor Browntown Lauder.
Ow.
It is a fan fiction that was published on January 15th, 2019. And it was written by Archive of Our Own, Hugo-nominated author, It's Sames. And the title is Like an Open Book. The summary is, oh, Joe, you moan, breaking our kiss. Fuck me now. Fuck me as if I were an open book, you pant. And oh, Beck, you are lucky I love you.
Oh, God.
Alright. Alright, so I'm going to read this from the first chapter here. The notes from the author are, English is not my first language, but apparently my hobbies include writing smut in foreign tongues. And I wanted to get into Joe's head, so please excuse my dumb Italian speaker's mistakes. I'm sure you did just fine.
Yeah.
Asking you to come work with me at the bookshop has been great for our relationship. We have never been so close, literally and figuratively. Asking you to work here is a win-win situation because you needed something to do during the day, and I can always use a hand in these months because Valentine's Day is coming, and everyone is trying to fix their messed-up relationships with Nicholas Sparks books and boxes of chocolate. I've officially offered you to work as cashier, and you are great at that. I've noticed the number of male clients have substantially increased since you've been helping behind the counter, which is good for the bookshop, but bad for me, because I keep getting distracted. I need to make sure none of them try to take advantage of you. And believe me, they try. You are lucky I keep an eye on you. These jerks must have mistaken this shop as a place to pick up chicks. Pathetic. But you don't seem to care. You are good to think badly. You are too good to think badly of anyone. You are nice and helpful to every client. Even the guy that twice a week walks 4 blocks just to buy here a fucking John Grisham. I doubt he even opens those books. He just comes here for you. And I can't even blame him, because these skinny jeans of yours are almost an invitation. Today, he hasn't shown up, but on the other hand, there was this girl coming here with a list of books for her English class that dared to ask for the shortened versions. End scene.
Wow.
The shortened versions, Cody. The audacity.
Yeah, that's pretty rude. That's some rude shit.
How dare they not read the complete, unedited, original
raw,
language text, non-GMO.
Oh, God.
Text.
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I'm going to be in fucking New York when this comes out. So, as we say in New York.
Ooh, get bit.
And get whipped.
Ow.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, who you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.